Okay, so last night I was talking to somebody who's going to be visiting Paris, and I said, "Oh, I think I have an old blog post about how to spend a week in Paris or something like that." And so I wanted to send it to him, but I was just like Googling to find it by typing in get out of town travel, Paris, and it wasn't popping up in the search results. So I was like, oh my God, is this blog post even indexed by Google? Like, maybe that's why it's not ranking. And so I went and I checked in Google Search Console, and guess what? It's not even indexed. This is a blog article that I wrote, oh my God, so long ago. And so here's how I found out. So when you go into your Google Search Console, you go to URL inspection, and then you type in um, the actual link on your page. And look, this is not even on Google. So it's not even indexed. So this is one of the first things to do if you have a blog post or a page that is just not even ranking at all and you're wondering why, see if it's even indexed. So if it's not indexed, it'll tell you right here and you can request indexing. Okay, now the indexing is requested, so then at some point they will, Google will index this. So now we just kind of wait for that to happen. It might be a couple days, it might be a week, it might be a couple hours. You can just keep checking on it. Um, and I also, another thing that I mentioned while looking back at this article is not even optimized. It's not even SEO optimized because I wrote it way before I was even doing SEO optimization. So this would be a great article to do a content refresh on. And um, once I have done a content refresh on it, then I'm actually going to go and have it re-indexed. Okay, so I went in and I optimized this article, 1 Week in Paris sample itinerary. I optimized it for the primary keyword 1 week in Paris. And let's see what I did. I made sure that I included the keyword well, it was already in the title, so that was easy. And in the first paragraph, 1 week in Paris is right there. These I just had transportation, accommodations. I just added in Paris. Same with food in Paris. And this I just had, like, I just made these more specific and included the word Paris. So I think it had like closure days. So I just put museum and site closure days in Paris. Um, I made these more specific. And these are all just heading threes because they're not the main topics of the article. They're like extras. And then down here, these are all heading twos. I just had the days of the week listed here. So what I did on these was I actually put in the heading what that day is, start of your trip to Paris. And I tried to include like the primary or secondary keywords if I could, or at least the word Paris if I could. Um, but I still wanted it to make sense, so I didn't like squeeze it in where it wasn't really possible. So this I used trip to Paris. Um, Here I have the word Paris in it. Um, Best Paris museums. Day trips from Paris is another secondary keyword. So I added in all of these. And then um, I added in this heading about other good things to do in Paris. I already had this information. I think um, my heading was just like other options or something. So things to do in Paris. And then what else? The back end of my images, I made sure that I had file names that made sense, that included at least part of my keyword, and then the alt text that describes what it is. And in it, you'll notice that I put 1 week in Paris itinerary included in it. So yeah, I optimized all of those things. It took me maybe a half an hour, did not take me long. And then when I looked at the position tracking that I had set up for it, my Paris, let's see, Paris 1 week in Paris, both jumped up quite a bit. And this is just in a few days. 1 week trip to Paris dropped down a little, but I don't care when these ones went up so much. And it was just after a couple days. And keep in mind that it actually takes months to see real strong improvement. And all that I really did on this is just a base level SEO. I didn't even go in and make sure that all of the information is updated. I didn't check the links to make sure they're updated. I didn't do anything else on it. I didn't check my call to action. I did make sure that I had a good meta description. In fact, let's see that. SEO. I did make sure I had a meta description with the key phrase 1 week in Paris. But that's it. That's all I had done for it. And it's already improving. Now, this was not, this blog post was not performing for me at all because, like I told you earlier, it was not even indexed by Google. So it wasn't showing up in the rankings at all. So then a week ago, after I got it indexed, it was showing up in like the 60s, which is still like multiple pages away. So the fact that it's moving up in the ranks makes me really happy. But yeah, I'll just continue to monitor it for the next couple months and see what it does. If it gets stuck in a position that I'm not happy with, that's like maybe not on the first page or maybe not on the second page, depending on where I'm happy to let it lie, then I'm going to go in and actually see what I'm missing. I'll make sure that my content is really good. I'll go through and read my content, make sure that's all updated really well. Maybe I'll add a video. Maybe I'll add some newer photos because I did actually travel to Paris with my child. So maybe I'll add a section about things to do with kids in there. I will also just Google the actual keyword 1 week in Paris and see what is popping up on the first page and see if there's something I can do to compete with those. So I'll read through what's showing up. If it's like high authority websites that I just can't compete with, then I'm just not even going to bother. But if it's other like travel blogs that I could potentially compete with, then I'm going to see what I can do there. But yeah, that's it. You just got to be patient, keep doing little things here and there as they come up, keep tracking things. It's kind of what SEO is all about.